guys, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video I did a full face of makeup using all Morphe products. I did literally use every single product on my face. Everything is Morphe, to the foundation, to the highlight, to the lip, to the lashes, to the brows. The only thing I did not use was the lash glue, but they do sell dual lash glue there, so technically that counts. I went to the Morphe store today and made a few purchases, and a lot of the product I already have from Morphe because I used to work for the company, so I used to get a pretty hefty discount and I would literally just buy like everything. So I own so many brushes, I own almost all the palettes except for like the newer ones that have come out just recently. But in this video I did use the Jaclyn palette as well, so you guys will be able to kind of get a tutorial on this palette at the same time. Alright you guys, so I hope you enjoyed this video. If you do like this video, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to my channel while you are here. I hope you enjoy and I hope you stay with me through my journey here. So yeah, let's get into the tutorial.
Alright, so to start off, I'm going to go ahead and fill in my eyebrows. I already have one brow filled in just because I wanted to kind of demonstrate to you guys this new brow product by Morphe. It's a mechanical brow pencil. It is retractable and it also has a spoolie right on the other side. So my thoughts on this was when I swatched it in store, it has a really nice formula. It was a really pretty brown color, but once I applied it to my eyebrow, it came off a little bit more warm and more orange tone than what I was hoping for. I was hoping for something a little more taupey, which is what it looked like it swatched on my hand, but it ends up working out because of my orange hair. And since I already filled in the brow, I'm just going to go ahead and carve it out with that Morphe concealer. I'm using the shade Oats in case you are referencing to purchase one yourself. I do really like this concealer. It's super smooth, super easy to blend out, and it is pretty full coverage. So I'm basically carving out the lower half of my brow, and then I'm going to go ahead and do the top of my brow as well. I rarely do this. I, for some reason, wanted to do it today just to get a more defined look. But my overall brow today in this video I was completely obsessed with, and I can't wait to continue using this pencil because it's honestly so smooth in application and I love it. I'm going to take the leftover concealer on the back of my hand and use that to apply to my eyelid area as my eyeshadow primer. And then just to set that, I'm going to go ahead and take the Morphe translucent powder. And I'm using just a big fluffy brush to really pack that powder on. I feel like this gave my eyelid such a smooth application, and it was much smoother, I noticed, than when I used an eyeshadow to set it. So I think I'm going to start using the translucent powder because I feel like for some reason it just smooths like everything. So I'm going to go ahead and take the Jaclyn palette. This is in the shade Creamsicle, and I'm using that as my transition color. I don't know if anybody out there or watching this video also has a Jaclyn palette, but mine I ordered online and it did not come with the shade names, so I do have the names with me now, and I'm looking at them online for you guys so I can let you know as we're watching the tutorial. So I'm basically just buffing this all up in my crease from outer corner to inner corner because I do want to do a little bit of a cut crease today. I'm going to go ahead and take the shade Pukey, and this one is just kind of a deeper shade of that creamsicle color with a little bit more, like literally like that pukey undertone. It's like a brown yellow. It sounds really gross, but it looks really pretty. And the way that I'm applying this color is on a flatter, denser brush. I'm basically packing it onto that outer corner, blending up into the crease, and then taking whatever is left on my brush into the inner part of my eye area, and then taking that big fluffy brush and buffing out all the edges. And then I'm going to go ahead and take the shade Sissy, I believe it is. Let me double check. Yes, Sissy. I love this color. I'm basically packing this on with a flat synthetic brush. I did want this to be a little bit more metallic looking. It's super pretty, don't get me wrong, but for the look that I was going for, I want it super, super metallic looking, almost glittery. So I took the Morphe setting spray, I sprayed my brush, and I'm really packing on that color. And look at the difference from that left eye to the right eye. You can totally tell the difference. And then I'm just going to take no additional product on that brush and just buff out all the little edges. So I'm going to add a little bit of darkness to this look. I'm going to start with the shade Buns, which is a nice kind of warm chocolate brown color. It almost reminds me of Swiss Chocolate by MAC. And I'm focusing this on the very outer corner of the crease, or the lower crease, and then taking it up and into the inner part of the crease. And I'm going to deepen that even further with the shade Chip, which is just that brown right underneath it. And it's a really nice dark chocolatey fudgy color. So Chip is a perfect name for it. Basically, again, packing it on that outer corner, and I really want to add definition to that inner part of the crease there. So I'm going to go ahead and take this flat definer brush with that same Chip shade, and I'm basically going to use this to map out what would be a cut crease without actually having to go in with concealer and really defining it. This is my sort of cheat sheet to a cut crease, and I think I'm going to make a tutorial on this. So let me know if you are interested in learning how to do a cheat cut crease. So what I'm going to do next is go ahead and just make it even smokier. I'm going to take that black shade. It is called Abyss. And I'm focusing this again on the very, very outer corner. This is the same technique that I'm using throughout the whole eye tutorial today. Is just really deepening up the shades on that outer crease and then taking it up into the crease and toward the inner corner, just to really add more definition and really define that line where the shimmer meets the mattes in the crease, because I want that to almost copy a cut crease without actually being a full-on cut crease. I'm going to take the shade Hunts on a big fluffy brush and use that just to very lightly diffuse any harsh lines. And then for lashes, I'm taking the Morphe lashes in Sunset Boulevard, and this is what the eyes should look like so far. To start on the skin, I'm going to go ahead and prep it using the Morphe Prep and Set Setting Spray. I'm just going to spray this all over my skin just to add some hydration. And for foundation, Morphe actually does have a foundation palette. So this is the 9FW. It's just a warmer eyeshadow palette that's more golden tone. And I'm taking that very lightest shade in the palette. And it is a cream foundation, so it is pretty full coverage. It's a little bit thicker and harder to blend. So when I'm using the Beauty Blender, I am kind of dragging it down onto my skin as opposed to pushing it in. And then once I have most of that product blended out, then I'll go ahead and just kind of tap onto my skin. I do really like the coverage of the foundation. I used to really hate this foundation when I was working at Morphe, but now I actually kind of like it now that I'm using it today. I'm going to go ahead and go back in with that Oats Concealer that I went in to carve out my brows, and I'm using that under my eyes just to conceal, highlight, and all that jazz. I also really like this concealer because I do feel like it gives me a lot of good coverage. It's very full coverage in my opinion, as opposed to the current concealer that I'm using, but I do like that it's creamy and it doesn't dry out my under eye, which is a problem that I usually have. To set everything, I'm going to go back in with that translucent powder. Taking this on any brush you have. You can even bake if you want to do that, but I am feeling a little bit more on the drier side today, so I just wanted to very lightly set my skin with a brush. And I did feel a little bit dry, so I'm just going to go ahead and spray my face one more time with that setting spray just to add more hydration. And to brighten up my under eye, I'm going in with that Deysi Danger palette by Morphe. I'm using that yellow banana shade just to set the under eye once again. That way it just brightens up the whole look. For contour, I'm taking the 9C palette, also by Morphe, on a fluffier kind of bronzer brush because I didn't want a super harsh contour, just something that will give my face a little bit of shape. For cheeks, I'm going in with the 9N palette. I believe this is by Morphe, and I'm taking that center shade there. It reminds me of Sunbask almost by MAC. It reminds me of like a mixture of Sunbask with Melba. If they were to have a baby, it would be this color. I'm just applying that all over my cheeks and taking the Deysi Danger highlight palette. I'm going to mix those bottom two shades there and apply this all over the top of my cheekbone to get that glowing highlight. To finish up the eyes, I'm going to go ahead and take that creamsicle shade one more time on an E18 blending brush by Morphe, pencil brush by Morphe, and I'm just focusing this on my lower lash line, and then a little bit of the shade Hunts, and I'm also going to apply that just right on top of that creamsicle shade, just really smoking out that lower lash line. To add a little bit of highlight to my eyes, I'm taking the second lightest shade in the palette. This one is called MFEO. I'm not exactly sure what it stands for. I know Jaclyn mentioned it in a video talking about her palette, but I just cannot remember for the life of me. So I use that for my inner corner highlight and my brow bone highlight. I'm taking this liquid lipstick, also by Morphe. This one is in the shade Schoolgirl, I think. If I am wrong, I will link it down below for you guys. It is such a pretty kind of mauve-y pinky shade in my opinion. I love it. This is my first time using it. I'm going back in with that MFEO shade, and I just want to add that as a little bit more of a cheekbone highlight, just because I wanted my highlight to pop just a pinch more, and I feel like this totally did me justice. This highlight hooked me up. And that basically completes this look, you guys. Just make sure you go ahead and set it with your Morphe setting spray just so it lasts all day long. And I honestly can't believe I used my whole face of makeup using Morphe products. I never really noticed that Morphe has all of these products. But yeah, if you guys like this video, please let me know what other videos you'd like to see down below. And I hope you like and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And I will talk to you soon. Bye.